welcome to Transition Tuesday and Hiring Our Heroes virtual career community. My name is Marnie Holder. I'm the Director of Career Summits for Hiring Our Heroes, and we are excited to have you with us today. I know you saw the Toyota video at the beginning. Hopefully we'll get a chance to put that up at the end. If you haven't done so already, please register to win a Toyota vehicle. That is something Toyota is committed to and certainly leading the way in hiring veterans and military spouses and getting awareness out there of the talent pipeline that exists in our military today. All right, so let me kick off our Transition Tuesday. Today, we're going to be talking about career skill training programs and specifically for the IT and cyber industry. And we have an awesome panel lineup today, and I'd love to turn it over to each of them to give a brief introduction. But before we do that, I want to make a few admin remarks. For those of you that are joining us and have questions for our panel, this is an interactive session. I encourage you to put them in the Q&A feature at the bottom, not the chat feature, but we'll be monitoring the Q&A feature, and I'll be sure to tee those up for our presenters today. Second, this is a recorded session. So if you don't get a chance to view it in its entirety or you want to refer back to it at a later date, it will be on our virtual career community hub on our website, which you'll see the website at the end of this session. So be on the lookout for that. All of our sessions have been recorded, so you can go back in any time and review those. All right, let's jump right in to introducing our panel lineup. I'll start out with John. John is a Marine veteran himself, and I will let him introduce not only FDM Group, but just his experience and how he came to find FDM. John, over to you.
Thanks, Marnie. My name is John Tansel, everybody. And yes, I was in the Marine Corps for 28 years, both active duty and reserve. So if anybody here is in the reserves, I understand where you're coming from also, as well as active duty. I have been with the FDM Group running their veteran initiatives in the United States for 6 years. We are a Military Times Best for Vets employer 7 years in a row. And what we do is we recruit, train, and deploy veterans and college graduates in the IT field, specifically software development and IT service management. And 90% of our clients are investment banks. And what fuels our company to look at veterans as a great group to recruit from is the fact that you already know what skill set you have, and so does corporate America. And no matter what you've heard, corporate America not only wants you, but they love you. And the more vets I can get them, the better. And I'm
awesome.
all done.
Thanks, John. Appreciate that. All right, let's go introduce our next panel member. Paige Thompson is with Fastport, she's the marketing director, and Paige has been a part of this space for quite some time. And I know she's got a lot of experience helping service members, veterans, and spouses. So Paige, I'll turn it over to you to introduce yourself and Fastport.
Sorry, quick on the draw to turn on my camera. Thanks so much, Marnie. Hi, as you can see on the screen, my name is Paige Thompson. I'm the marketing director for Fastport. We're a technology company really with the main mission to bridge skills gaps and connect the military community with civilian careers. Just very briefly about myself, I got my start actually in the teaching space as a university professor for a few years after graduate school, but made my way over to Fastport about 5 years ago. So kind of through, like most people, kind of winding my way up the career ladder in a couple different places, but made my way to this awesome company. And since working here, I've been kind of all over the globe at different military hiring events, mainly through HOH, which has been incredible. And I've met with thousands of awesome candidates just like you guys. So we always know that those coming from this community are going to have an incredible impact when they're given that opportunity to prove themselves in the civilian workforce. So I'm excited to speak with you all and answer any questions you have.
Excellent, thanks, Paige. All right, let's move on to our next panel representative. Selena Robinson is representing Amazon. And Selena, I'd love to turn it over to you to introduce yourself and your role with Amazon.
Thanks, Marnie. It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon. We're excited at Amazon to hire our veteran talent because we're looking for individuals who have a simple bias for action and are proud leaders. And we know that those are values that our military community are very familiar with. I support our operations team, so I manage recruiting programs. And as my partner will later tell you, Theta, we're really excited to be here to talk about our hiring programs for our apprenticeships as well as hiring our heroes. So thank you for having us.
And thank you, Selena. All right, let's move on to our next panel representative, Theta Johnson, also representing Amazon on the Amazon Web Services side. Theta, I'd love to turn it over to you to introduce yourself and your role with AWS.
Yes, thank you for the wonderful introduction, Selena. I appreciate that. My name is Theta Johnson. I am a sourcing recruiter for the tech side of Amazon, which is Amazon Web Services. I roll up directly under the apprenticeship side of the house, but I also do a lot of industry hiring and support our industry teams as well. So I've been in the military, in the talent acquisition space for a little over 15 years, specializing in the military recruitment and career coaching space for the better part of the last 7 years. I come from a military family. My mom was an officer in the United States Navy, and my dad was an enlisted corpsman in the United States Marine Corps. So I definitely grew up with those types of knowledge and values and just overall culture. So here to talk about AWS today and all the great programs that we have under the apprenticeship and also hiring our heroes. Excited to be here. Thanks for having us.
Awesome. All right. Last and certainly not least, I want to introduce Richard Perez, who is with Skillstorm. And Richard, I'd love to turn it over to you to introduce yourself. Hopefully we'll get that slide queued up to get, there we go. And Richard, are you on the line? Go ahead and introduce yourself and your role with Skillstorm.
Yes, hi. Again, yes, my name is Richard Perez, and I'm a senior veteran recruiter with Skillstorm. I've been with them for quite some time now. I've been with them for about 3 years and have really, just enjoyed it. Right now, I am currently supporting and leading all of the veteran and military efforts. And what we're looking to do is kind of, get a lot of our transitioning service members to understand why, they could be in IT, why IT is important, and how their current skills that they have right now really lend well to, what we're doing. So again, I'd love to speak with all of you. A little bit about me. I'm prior service as well. I'm a veteran. I was in the Army for about 3 years. And again, like I said, I really enjoyed it. So it's awesome to be able to do this and get back to you all. So I look forward to speaking with you. Thank you.
Excellent. So now that you have met all of our panel members, I want to turn it over to each of them to give an overview and a little bit more deeper dive into the programs that they offer. We're talking about, upskilling, bridging the gap between military experience and what spouses bring to the table, and then what the industries are looking for. And so each of these panel representatives has a role to play in that space and is doing just phenomenal things to help bridge that gap and position all of you who have joined us today for success. So I want to turn it over to John first. And if you can just describe what FDM is doing as far as just the training piece of it and how you're taking the service members and spouses, one, employing them, and two, then positioning them into a career with the company.
Sure. The FDM group recruits all year round, and we train all year round, both military veterans and transitioning service members. And everybody that comes to FDM has to have a bachelor's degree, except for a veteran. Veterans do not have to have a college degree. However, the vets have to pass the same aptitude test and the same assessment to get into our IT academy that a college grad does. So what we're looking for really is people that are very passionate about wanting to be in the IT field, and also people with have exceptional critical thinking skills. So I don't care whether you were a cook or whether you were in the combat arms, you were on the aviation side of the house, the MOS doesn't matter. I just need, and I'm not being a wise guy, I need people that are smart, that have good critical thinking skills and really want to be in the IT field. If you're doing this because it sounds like it's better than working in retail, that's not a good answer. We really need people that really want to be in IT because it's hard. Um, we're going to teach you things in a 1 week period that would take you a semester in college. And the two things that we train all year round in are Java programming and IT service management. IT service management is a combination of business analysis, PMO, and application support, along with SQL and Excel VBA. By the way, I know majority of you, if not all of you, have never heard of FDM before, unlike I'm sure my counterparts on the panel from Amazon. Everybody's heard of them. I just want you to let you know that we've been in business for 31 years. We are a global company. We're headquartered in London and over in Britain. Our US headquarters is where I'm sitting right now at 14 Wall Street. We have three other academies in the US. Right now, everything we train is virtual. But going back to the FDM group, we are listed on the London Stock Exchange. Again, we've been in business for 31 years. We're in the FTSE 250, so we're one of the 250 largest companies in Britain. Another nice thing about FDM is the gentleman who started the company 31 years ago is still the CEO today. So the company hasn't been bought and sold a bunch of times. You don't know who owns it. The reason I wanted to go over that real quickly with you is so you don't think I'm a government contractor working out of the back of my truck behind the PX. We're actually a very viable company, and we will be in business 3 years from now. You don't have to worry about that. So again, what we're looking for is people that are passionate about wanting to be in IT, people with critical thinking skills. If you apply, you get into the academy for the IT service manager is 12 weeks long. The Java programming portion is 16 weeks long, and that's 08:30 till 17:30 every day, Monday through Friday. It is a full stack boot camp, FDM. The nice thing about FDM, it doesn't cost anything. FDM, because we're a public company and we have stockholders, we're able to pay for the training for you up front, and we actually pay you during the training. It's not a lot of money, but it's a stipend to get you, through the day. And as you're coming through the academy, one of the big reasons we have a following from the college grad side and from the vet side that knows some of the firms that we have as clients is that 90% of our clients at FDM happen to be investment banks. So it's companies like Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, United Bank of Switzerland, Credit Suisse, BNP Paribas, the Bank of Montreal, Bank of America, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. It's companies like that you're going to end up going to work for. Because unlike, I'm sure everybody here has seen government contractors walking around on base, we don't handle the FDM consultants that we're training like a government contractor where, Morgan Stanley calls us up and says, hey, I need somebody for ITSM, and we just send them somebody. That's not how FDM handles it. We let Morgan Stanley come in and we'll let them interview 12 of you, and they'll choose the person that they want out of the 12. And guess what? We have a 98% placement rate. So if you're not chosen by Morgan Stanley, 4 days later, you're interviewing with Bank of America. 3 days after that, you're interviewing with United Bank of Switzerland. So you will get chosen. And then once you do get chosen, now you know who you're going to go work for and where you're going to work. There are two things about FDM that I make sure that everybody knows right up front. You do have to be relocatable anywhere in the U.S. The one nice thing is you'll be near a major or mid-major city. You won't be out in the middle of farmland. And then the other thing is that there is a 2-year commitment. The 2-year commitment comes from the fact that we upfront all that training money, and it takes us almost a year to break even. And so we, in order to get a return on our investment, meaning the return, you're the investment, that we need you to stay with us for a period of 2 years. Now, once you go on site, that's when your salary starts. That's when your health, dental, and vision starts. and your 401k, your stock option plan that FDM has. And so you are an absolute FDM employee, but you're following the direction of the firm you're working at. Um, the nicest thing about the program, I think, is at the end of the 2-year period, when you're finishing up your 2-year commitment to FDM and you've been on site at, as an example, Bank of America, we then give them the opportunity at the end to onboard you as their own full-time employee. And so our goal is that you don't stay with FDM year after year after year. Our goal is we train you really well. We put you on site. You do the 2 years, and then the firm you've been working at onboards you as a full-time employee, and we don't charge them any money for that. So for veterans, it happens between 70 and 80% of the time that the Bank of Americas and Morgan Stanleys of the world want you to stay as a full-time employee. And the nice thing about that is, one, now you're a full-time employee of that firm, but the other nice thing is your salary just went up exponentially. And so that, I think, is the actual the icing on the cake of the entire program. Anyway, that's FDM in a nutshell. And if anybody has any questions, I know we're gonna have Q&A at the end. I look forward to talking to you again. Thanks, Marnie.
Yeah, we did have a few questions pop up in the queue, but we will go ahead and take those at the end of the session. Just want to give all of our panel members an opportunity to present. Also, just want to redirect everyone into the chat feature. We did post the website for you to get more information on FDM and their opportunities. So if you are looking for that, that is down in the chat feature if you want that website. All right, let's get back to our panel. So Paige, I want to turn it over to you in Fastport, and being an IT tech company and knowing everything that you are doing with a lot of the other companies out there and partners. Talk about your program, talk about what you guys are doing to help bridge the gap between military experience, spouse experience, and into the IT cyber.
Sure. So Fastport itself is a technology company. But what we've been doing for the last few years is working as an industry intermediary for the U.S. Department of Labor. And what we do as an intermediary is we work kind of, as you can tell by the name, that we kind of work between the government and companies in order to develop and support apprenticeship programs. And then, of course, help get candidates hired into those apprenticeship positions. So since 2016, when we were selected as a Department of Labor intermediary, we've placed nearly 14,000 apprentices with over 37 employer partners. So it's been a really successful program, mainly because we have this national network of employers here that offer a lot of different types of positions. So this year we've partnered with 2 programs related to IT and cyber. The first being the AI Academy, and that's through North Carolina State University. And the second is Purdue University's Cyber Apprenticeship Program, or PCAP. In order to continue to connect even more in the military community to some great options when you're coming into the civilian world. So these are all paid on-the-job training opportunities, and also with the option for degrees for many. So up into, associates, bachelor's, or even a master's degree. So for awareness, just right off the top, an apprenticeship is a job. So if there's absolutely nothing else that you remember from my blabbering on and on, please just remember that. An apprenticeship is a job that is paid, that is designed to bridge skill gaps for you. So those are all about on-the-job training. So they help companies both train and hire, which is why they're so effective. So that's kind of just the general overview that we can start off with, but that's all I got. Just the general stuff.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. And so if anyone has questions for Paige, be sure to put them in the Q&A feature. All right, let's move over to the Amazon team. Selena, I'll turn it over to you first and describe just what Amazon is doing. You said you're in the operations side. Just kind of talk through where your needs are for the IT and cyber side of things, and then we'll move it over to Theda.
Thanks, Marnie. We are so proud to have veterans come in, whether it's through direct hire or through our apprenticeship programs. Or we also have our Hiring Our Heroes partner. In addition to that, we're proud to announce that we will be starting a skill bridge in 2021. So there are a lot of different opportunities to grow your cyber skills. Once you join operations or AWS, you also have the opportunity to grow your knowledge, whether it's going to get your degree, be it an undergraduate degree or a master's or a doctorate. Those are all possibilities within Amazon because we believe in growing our employees to serve our customers. Thanks, Marnie.
Excellent. All right, Theta, I'll turn it over to you from the AWS side of the house.
Yeah, thanks, Selena, for all of that. Those who don't know, AWS stands for Amazon Web Services, and essentially that's the low-cost infrastructure platform in the cloud. And we power hundreds of thousands of businesses, including the intelligence community, in over 190 countries across the world. And the reason why I say that is not from an apprenticeship necessarily standpoint, but also from a direct hire standpoint, in addition to the operation side of the house, which Selena is talking about right now. So when we're talking about upskilling and apprenticeships, AWS does have a few different options here. One of them is the apprenticeship program, and that is specifically designed for the technical types of roles within AWS. So those are support engineers, software developers, technical account managers, associate cloud consultants, cloud support associates, tech sales. I mean, we have about 12 different profiles that we typically will support throughout the year. We have multiple cohorts every single quarter, and this year, even with COVID happening, we still hired 200 new apprentices, over 200 new apprentices into AWS. Much to what Paige said, very similar to what Paige just said, it is a paid full-time role. You get benefits from the first day with us, and it's really just one of those things, being a DOL type of a program where the first 9 to 20 weeks you're in a classroom and you're learning what we need you to learn, whether it be Linux, whether it be AWS certifications, things like that. And then the following 9 to 12 months, and those timeframes are dependent on what cohort or what job title you're going for, whether it be software development, support engineer, so on and so forth. But the following 9 to 12 months, you're actually in the job. You're on the job training, you're doing the job every single day. And with our program, as long as you're meeting those benchmarks, and those benchmarks are passing your certifications, progressing through the program and learning new things as you should and as are expected to within Amazon culture, you just continue on. And after the year program with us, you stay an employee. You officially convert. At that point, you're still a full-time employee through the program, but you are no longer have that apprentice tag on there after that year. And then you're free to kind of do whatever you want to do, whether it's applying for another role, staying in that role, what have you. Our apprenticeship opportunities also serve the intelligence community. So we do have multiple opportunities throughout the year for individuals that want to use their clearance that's still active and not currently being re-adjudicated or reinvestigated to go through the apprenticeship program with a clearance. We have opportunities for, cleared support engineers and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of great opportunities within our apprenticeship program. Right now, we are collecting headcount for 2021. Previous to this year, we've hired upwards of over 500 apprentices throughout the year. So there's plenty of opportunity. We continue to grow year over year, every single year. So super excited to talk about a little bit more of that if there's any questions.
All right. Well done, Team Amazon. Okay, Richard, I want to turn it over to you from Skillstorm. Not sure how many people are familiar with Skillstorm, but I think it would be great if you could give a program overview of what your role is in this space and just the services that you provide.
Thank you, Marnie. Again, my name is Richard Perez, and I work with Skillstorm. A little bit about me: I am a senior veteran recruiter with Skillstorm. I currently lead, as I mentioned before, all of the veteran efforts for Skillstorm. Thank you so much for sharing that, Alyssa. So I currently lead all the veteran efforts right now, all of our transitioning service members, and trying to complete a mission that we have for 2021, which is to hire 250 plus veterans. With those, veterans, we offer what Skillstorm does is we have a training program, and the training program gets you a paid certification or certifications, depending on what the need is, to be able to start a position with our clients. And a lot of people will ask, why should we even consider IT? IT is obviously booming right now in every facet, but you have so many skills that are really important within IT and are growing. You have, really good soft skills, just being able to kind of communicate and be direct and being open to saying, hey, this is something that I need to get done. But again, having that strong communication. So again, good soft skills, having those clearances, kind of being, utilizing those clearances. And then just kind of a fun fact, 30%, if not more, of the workforce within the government is going to be retiring. So we kind of have to, bridge that gap in IT. So we provide a fellowship program for our transitioning service members. We also provide you with a paid program as well, once you complete your fellowship to be able to hire you. When you're in the training, again, everything is covered as far as the training for the transitioning service member. You don't pay anything. Everything is completely covered for you. And the overall goal of the program is you obtain the certification, you are going to be hired by Skillstorm. So Skillstorm will hire you. When you're in, once you're placed and you complete that training, then at that point, your salary is going to be anywhere between 57K or up to 85K, depending on a few things, location, whether it's remote, and then of course, cost of living and all those factors, and really whatever the technology that's being utilized. As far as all of the training, a lot of it is virtual right now due to COVID. We are transitioning and working with Jacksonville University, and we actually did announce the partnership last week with them to offer an on-site training. As far as some of those requirements, or excuse me, let me go back real quick. The paid training program, that's the training program. And that's going to be paid right off the bat. We hire you directly. We offer you benefits. That program is going to range anywhere between 47 to 53K while you're in training. So again, that's a paid training program. That program itself is about 12 weeks. And the fellowship is actually 16 weeks. It could be a little longer depending on the technology and how much we have to really train. But we have the capacity and the trainers to be able to have these longer trainings for service members. Again, certification equals hire. That's probably the biggest thing. And I always like to kind of say that, COVID-19 is not over, but it's really cool to say that even during all of this, with us being able to still have training programs, continue and fill needs, we did not lay off one person this year due to COVID. So I think that's amazing. And I definitely wanted to kind of share that fun fact. So I look forward to speaking with you. If you'd like to, get a little bit more information about that, and I'll get you connected with the right person. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard, and thank you to all panel members. All right, so we've got some great questions coming in. And at the top of the list, it is directed towards military spouses. This question is for all panel members, but it was touched on briefly, but I think it would be better to highlight for military spouses that are looking to go into these types of programs. Is it something that is available to them? And if there are differences between being a spouse and a veteran for these programs, if you could describe it, and then anything else associated with the military spouse. I know, John, you talked about the need to be portable and relocatable. So that I know can come into play. So John, I'll turn it over to you first, and then I'll toss it to the rest of the panel members regarding spouses.
Thanks, Marnie. Yeah, in regard to military spouses, we are a military spouse employment partner with DOD. As Marnie said, and I talked to her before the meeting started, is that because everybody that comes to FDM has to be relocatable, because we don't know who's going to choose you and where they're going to want you, as far as our clients, we have not had a lot of military spouses. And one of the big reasons is that where the military bases are not near major cities or mid-major cities. The only place we've had military spouses is in the DC area. There's 5 major military bases right there. We do have a few clients that are right there. So that would be, and I'm being completely honest with you because I don't want to waste anybody's time. That would be the only area currently that a military spouse would make sense to think about FDM as a potential place to start your IT career.
Great, thanks. And then, so I want to turn it over to the Amazon team. I know Theta posted in the chat, so you can see. But I want to give you the opportunity to present to the rest of the group. So talk me through the spouses and what Amazon's doing for them.
Yeah, so specifically for the AWS apprenticeship program, it's open to all military service members. Veterans at any point in time could be out 6 days, 16 years, whatever. You're a veteran, right? Spouses as well, whether it's a current spouse or a previous spouse, you still count, right? As well as active duty guard and reserve and transitioning service members. Those are all individuals and that can come through the apprenticeship program. We're also a Skill Bridge approved program. So if you're transitioning out and you want to get the classroom portion done while you're within that last 6 months, you can definitely do that. You do need to be either on term leave or fully transitioned out to do the OJT portion, but you can definitely use Skill Bridge to go through that first portion of the AWS apprenticeship program. So we have that for the spouses, as well as we have a program manager who handles, her name is Beth Conlin, and she handles all of our military spouse programs through Amazon and AWS. And she's actually a current spouse herself. So she's working on a few other things, and she's definitely in the know when it comes to spouses on that side of the house. So Selena, did you want to add anything to that for spouses? Selena, you're muted, my dear.
And that is what I do during the office all at the same time. But yes, at Amazon and operations as well, we're big on having our military spouses support and bringing them into the business. So you are welcome to apply through any of our military links. And if you ever have any questions, you can reach out to us on LinkedIn or through the email portal that's available.
Excellent. All right. So Paige, for Fastport, what is available for the military spouses through the Fastport, the apprenticeships, and what you all are doing?
Sure. So in terms of differences between, how people are looking at military spouses versus veterans or transitioning service members, there really is no difference, at its core level. Obviously, sometimes there'll be benefits coming from the military. If you have clearances, for example, some companies are looking for those things specifically. But to get into the apprenticeship program, being a military spouse is no detriment. In fact, they're actively seeking for that population. Not only because it's, a dedicated push from the Department of Labor to seek out, underrepresented populations, but also because frankly, military spouses are some of the most, trainable, responsible, dedicated employees, and potential talent available to American employers. So, for Purdue's program, for example, one of the things that they require candidates to go through is their leadership program. So they see that as leadership is a vital skill for long-term success in the industry. And then they focus on soft skills like teamwork and problem solving, interpersonal skills, integrity. To me and to them, it sounds like military spouses. So they are absolutely looking for people like you. And frankly, COVID has done some absolutely insane things to the world, to the country. Terrible, but one, if you can call it a silver lining, is that it really encouraged employers to add or be amenable to remote positions. So that's a huge plus for the military spouse population for obvious reasons. So we've seen a big uptick in that as well.
Awesome. Well done. All right. So Richard, I'll turn it over to you from the Skillstorm side of things. I know you talked about this a little bit, but give you one more opportunity to share from the spouse side.
Thank you. Yes, so we actually do have a spouse program. We have a spouse program that pretty much should be a program coordinator. We provide you with training on the program that we offer, kind of what I went over. And then obviously it's incentivized. It's meant to be flexible. It's meant to be portable. So you can kind of take it with you as you move between bases. So again, we are looking for, spouses in the Camp Pendleton area, Colorado Springs, Tacoma, Tampa, Florida, and the Jacksonville, Florida area. So as far as spouses, we do offer that program. I mean, ideally, if you're a spouse and you meet the criteria of a degree, we do, like I said, we have the paid program and you're open to relocation. We can go that route. It actually has happened where the service member was exiting and the spouse was the one looking for that new career. And we worked with the spouse. She, had the degree and had an interest in IT. And we were able to do that. So there's that option as well. But again, we definitely want to work with spouses, try to provide them with an opportunity as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Richard. All right, so let's jump into the questions we've got from our audience. I'll tee this one up, but I'll let Theda or Selena put this in the chat for our audience. The information to get in touch with Beth Conlon about the military spouse program, if you could. And then, all right, so let's go into, I know we had an original question back when John was talking about the FDM group, and this question is also for Amazon as well. Would the Skills Academy with FDM or the AWS apprenticeship program benefit somebody with extensive education, or is it just for entry-level participants?
Marty, for FDM, 99% of what we do is entry level. So I would hate to waste anybody's time. So if somebody's got a lot of experience like this individual did, I looked at the Q&A question, he would be better off somewhere else, to be honest with you.
All right, thanks for your honesty. Same question over to the Amazon team.
Yeah, so our apprenticeship program is open to everybody, right? And I think the question to refer back to that individual is it really depends on your experience in the background, right? So if you're looking to do a career change and you have, an MBA, but you're trying to get into the tech field, then absolutely the apprenticeship program would be perfect for you. If you're a 20-year, IT guru, then maybe we should talk about a direct hire role. And you can really look into answering some of those questions. We have weekly webinars with the military affairs team. I did put that in the chat, but there's a lot of different things out there, really depending on what you're looking to do. But to answer your question in a very 50,000 foot view way, it's open to everybody of all education types of background, but it is considered a quote unquote entry level role because it's a training program. That's what apprenticeships are. So it really depends on your background and what you're looking to do.
All right, great. Thanks for that. This is another question for the Amazon team. Is the salary information for the AWS apprenticeship program available? Or if you could talk through that.
I can talk generalities, right? Because it does depend on the program, but I will tell you when we talk about entry level roles, they are very well paid. So, some of the programs, just like in general jobs, like software developers get paid more than cloud support associates, right? So, I can tell you in general, they're high 20s to mid 40s an hour, and that's with, in addition to, the benefits and things that you would get as well. So I can't tell you specifics, but I can tell you that's kind of the range depending on the program that you're going for.
Yeah, and so Theda, can you describe, I know you guys work with our corporate fellowship program as well. If you could just describe the difference between that and then your in-house apprenticeship program.
Yeah, I'd love to. Okay, so the in-house AWS apprenticeship program was built around the same pillars and fundamental ideologies of the HOH fellowship program, meaning it's a training program, it's a hybrid, those types of things. To my knowledge, Marty, correct me if I'm wrong, but the HOH program is a set time. It's about 6 months. You do 4 days at the specific company and then 1 day on installation. And then at the end, you kind of have to interview for that role or a different role, hopefully again, and you have to have CO approval to go through the HOH program, correct? If you're transitioning, right? So
yeah, and approval. It's a 12-week program. We offer 3 cohorts a year. You still have to be in an active duty status to participate in that because you're still an employee of the government, right. But then you're working with Amazon.
Yeah. So that's the HOH program. The difference between us is we own and operate our apprenticeship program, and you can use SkillBridge or HOH, well, not HOH, but SkillBridge to go through the first portion of our AWS apprenticeship program, so the ILT, because if you're using SkillBridge, you're still paid through the military. You can't double dip, if you will, and do the OJT portion because you'll be paid by us, but you can do, the classroom portion through AWS apprenticeship. Another big difference is once you're offered through us for the apprenticeship, you stay with, like, you're an employee from the first day. We pay you full time. It's 40 hours a week, so it's not the 4 days on a company and 1 day back in the installation. And it's not something that you have to re-interview for at the end. Again, like I stated earlier, as long as you're hitting those benchmarks throughout the program, passing those certifications, progressing as you should, you stay with us. You just convert in our system without that apprenticeship tag. So that's another big difference. And in addition to, the benefits and things like that. So still a hybrid of classroom and on-the-job training. It's just owned and operated by us. You're a full-time employee and you don't have to re-interview at the end. You actually take a piece of headcount.
Yeah. And to apply for that Amazon apprenticeship program, that I think was put in the chat. If it wasn't already, we should put it down in the chat.
Yeah, I will grab that, but it's there's a landing page. It's amazonjobs.com military apprentice. We'll have one posting for SkillBridge individuals. So if you want to use the SkillBridge program, then you can apply through the SkillBridge one only. If you are not using the SkillBridge program, there will be direct application links that you can apply to, and you apply to it just like you would any other job. There's nothing posted at the moment, but there will be very soon for 2021. And I'll get that in the chat for you.
Great, thank you. All right, I want to turn this one over to Richard, and then if any of our other panel members can answer it. So this individual has a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science with 7 years experience, Java developer, has been out of it for about 13 years now and would love to get back into IT, but doesn't want to move. So what is one of the programs, do you have a program that would be beneficial to this individual?
Well, the hard part is you honestly have to be open to relocation. So I want to be honest about that. You can always get back into IT. We've actually had a few people do that as well. Depending, I can share with you that as far as some of the major cities, we are only in major IT hubs. It's going to be Dallas, Chicago, Jacksonville, DC, but none of my clients right now are actually open. So, as far as when you actually will go back or be on site, it's going to be some time. So I can't tell you when, but it's definitely going to be quite some time, so I would consider that. And as many people have echoed in here, IT is definitely changing. The work world is definitely changing. You see where I am. So I think a lot of us are working from home still right now. So it's something to consider.
Great. And I wanted to turn it over to Paige and John too. I know, John, you mentioned you've got lots of locations or usually around major metropolitan areas in the US, but what would you recommend for this individual wanting to get back into the space and well, I don't know where they're at, but they looks like they want to stay put.
Well, first of all, yeah, anybody who wants to get back into the space who already has the knowledge, I think that's almost a layup. Do you know what city he's near or where he actually physically lives?
For the individual that asked that question, if you could post where you're from or what city you're looking to remain in.
But the other is that I would probably this is just a suggestion, okay? This has nothing to do with FDM. I would go to just the local county college and brush up on his Java skills. I know one defense contractor that's short 1,000 Java programmers. So the need is there. And one of the big reasons we teach Java is because it's the Latin of all the programming languages. And off of Java, it's easy to learn Python and C++ and .NET and all of the other ones that, have come out. So the fact that he already knows Java, you ready for this? Last year, I trained 10 vets in COBOL for Morgan Stanley. COBOL's a 50-year-old language. So there just goes to show you that he's already got the knowledge, just brush up on it. And there are clients out there that will want him.
Excellent, thanks. And so Paige, I want to turn it over to you.
Yeah, so absolutely is the answer. Yes, these are great programs for you. These programs are open to anyone. Apprenticeships, I mean, I'm sure is, anybody who has an apprenticeship can tell you, no doubt, it opens the aperture for kind of a wide variety of people who, wouldn't necessarily have had the opportunity to come in otherwise, but that doesn't mean it closes the aperture for people who have experience and knowledge. Like we said, this is a job. So employers aren't going to turn their nose up at somebody who has a lot of background experience and the ability to hit the ground running, right? So we've seen candidates who are transitioning out of the military, from, Fort Gordon, other areas of cyber experience, or those who are, have been in the workforce for a long time, and those who have, no background in cyber at all, other than maybe a passion they've honed in on their own time. But the more proficient you are, the more competitive you're going to be to the different employers who are, within the program network. So, for example, PCAP, the Purdue program I've been talking about, there's an assessment test that every candidate who comes in who wants to be a part of the program has to take. So nothing that needs to be, studied for prior to taking, sorry. As it's simply there to give kind of a baseline of your skills and helps our team understand your best, one educational path. Since you already have a computer science degree, obviously we're not going to get you another computer science degree. Maybe you need just some credentialing to get you started, or some industry badges to get you back into the flavor of the current, the current market. Or maybe there's an employer who says, well, I like that you have a bachelor's degree and you've got this experience, so I actually want to push you through to a master's degree. That's an option there as well. So whatever you and the employer determine to be the company need and something that is your need as well, that's what we can do. The programs are pretty bespoke to that employer, and they were actually created alongside employers because they're saying, well, I don't need everybody to do A, B, and C. I just need this employee to do A, and this employee to do C, and this employee to do G. How are you going to help me do that? So you maybe are the G category or the C category. But for AI Academy, for example, they have a general track and they have an upskill track. An upskill track is going to have the more advanced courses there. It's going to get you in there immediately rather than taking more of the foundational courses that would be more of those, peers that don't have a lot of experience. Like I said, PCAP, they could push you to a master's degree or simply do a couple of credentialing opportunities for you to make sure you're back into that, 2020, 2021 version of what's going on in the cyberspace. And then of course, once you complete it, you're all but guaranteed full-time placement. So, you're still making that salary as you're training and you're getting kind of reacquainted with everything. And then you would move forward as a full-time employee, with all of the background experience that you have. And since you have that background experience, you'd be making a lot more within the program and after the program immediately than most people would be, because you're on a different peer level than they are.
Yeah, well done. Very thorough. So for the individual that asked that question, he is from Rochester, New York. So I just wanted to put that out there. And John, you specifically, since you're location specific, if there's anything for him at that location, that would be great. Did you want to answer?
Yeah, it actually might be, because we have one of our clients happens to be a very large power company, and they love veterans. So if he could, I put my email in the chat box. If he could email me his resume, I'm not promising anything, but I'll see if that firm is interested. We call that pre-selection hire. So because of his background, the company would pre-select him even before he came into the academy. He would brush up on his skills here, and then he could, get placed in theoretically Rochester, because they cover that area.
My bad. It's Rochester, Minnesota. I saw Rochester and went straight to New York.
All right, sorry. I immediately thought University of Rochester, Minnesota. Ooh, well, actually, wait a minute. We have people in Minneapolis. How close is Rochester to Minneapolis?
I would recommend, so for the individual asking the question.
Okay. Oh, I'll just chat with them.
Yep, very good. All right, so let's jump into a few more of these questions. Thanks to everyone for populating this. All great questions. Let's go into, this is back to the Amazon team. How early can I apply for the apprenticeships if I want to use the SkillBridge program? The date that the individual, their exit date is November 2021. Can I apply right now to get started in the process, or is it too early?
In regards to 2021, it is too early. We don't know what 2021 headcount looks like. If you want to use SkillBridge, then you could probably apply maybe Q2 next year. By then we should know what Q4 looks like, and we could get you into the process to at least do the ILT or the classroom portion before you get out. And that way, when you transition in November, you'll be able to go directly to OJT. So feel free to reach out to myself on LinkedIn, or Nick Curry on LinkedIn. He's one of the program managers, or even the Amazon SkillBridge program on LinkedIn, and we can definitely kind of talk through that a little bit more with you. But yeah.
Excellent. All right, so this question is for Paige. How often are the apprenticeships posted, and specifically those with Purdue?
Can you hear? Okay, sorry. So unfortunately right now there's no current posting schedule that I can tell you. Generally the process right now is, and hopefully there'll be a little bit, the program's being built, so I'm hoping things will smooth out a little bit more in terms of this specific method. But right now employers are actually seeking you out in a database. So once a candidate registers, so and that's done through purdue.edu/PCAP, PCAP. And there's a candidate page, you can't miss it. If you register there, that's where you'll take your assessment. So right now they're not allowing people to go into the system and see all the job postings because there will be no way to apply. We want to make sure that any employer is able to see that baseline of your skills. So that assessment test is really your first step in order to get into the program. And once that's completed, you can share or not share. I'd highly recommend sharing your scores there, because again, it's not punitive. It's just to help us understand where you would be placed within the program and what employers need. But employers like, I'm thinking Raytheon, Gaylor Electric, Crane Naval, they're actively searching that database right now in order to fill roles. So your main active job is to take that assessment test and share the assessment scores that you receive.
Great advice. All right, this is for all of the panel, so don't all jump at once, but I know Austin, Texas is becoming kind of the new center US Silicon Valley type. The particular question is, are there any IT specific trends that you're seeing in that area, or companies that you work with, just location specific to Austin, Texas?
Hi, Marty. Operations has jobs open in Ops Tech IT within Austin, Texas. So those are going to be our SysDev roles. Those are going to be IT engineers, IT support managers, and IT support associates. So if you're interested in those roles, please feel free to reach out to me.
Go for it, John.
Hi, Marty. Yeah, one of our 4 academies in the U.S. happens to be in Austin, Texas, right across from the governor's mansion. And obviously right now it's virtual, but yes, we have a presence in Austin, and if they wanted to contact me, my email is in the chat room and we can discuss it further.
Great. Paige, Richard? Theta?
Oh, sorry. Specific to Texas, I don't have that in front of me. I'm so sorry. I wish I did. But both PCAP and AI Academy have a national network of employers. So if you are interested, just like kind of everyone else has said, please feel free to get in touch with me, and I will get that information to you. Sorry about that.
Okay, so apprenticeship program through AWS is really weird right now. So ever since COVID, we've gone 100% virtual, which was to be expected, right? And we've done very, very well virtually. So as far as geographic location, previously, pre-COVID, everything was geographically specific. So a lot of our apprenticeships happened in Seattle, Northern Virginia, sometimes in DFW, so Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. But post-COVID, everything is virtual. I don't know if we'll stay virtual. To be completely honest, I don't know what that looks like. All I know is right now it's virtual until further notice. So as far as specific apprenticeship opportunities, I can't really 100% guarantee in Austin. I can say that right now everything's virtual, don't know going forward. But as far as direct hire roles, we do have a somewhat good presence in Austin, and we also have a lot of remote roles that are IT specific or otherwise within AWS. So if you're not in IT, you want to do project management, that's there too. So it really that's a longer conversation than we can have right now. So feel free to reach out to me and we can definitely dive into that on a one-on-one or something like that.
Hey, well, Marnie, real quick, for this individual, that has nothing to do with FDM, but 1 hour south is San Antonio. And San Antonio is the second largest cyber hub in the United States. A lot of people don't know that. The Air Force Cyber School is there, and a lot of defense contractors are there now. So if anybody in the audience is interested in cyber, obviously the DC area is the #1 spot in the country for cyber, but the #2 happens to be San Antonio, right next to, right below Austin.
Excellent. Good point, John. All right, Richard, did you have anything to share?
I just want to share. We don't have anything specific in Austin right now. I mean, I know we have some specifics in Texas, Dallas, and I know we've had talks of San Antonio. But again, everything is remote. No signs of when that will change. So again, if you want to further that conversation, you can reach out.
Awesome. I know we're getting close to reaching our time today. And I want to be mindful of giving each of the panel members an opportunity to do one last plug or pitch. And if you are available to connect with individuals who have joined today and continue the conversation, provide them the best way to do that. So I'll turn to John first and we'll just go down the list. So John, parting remarks?
Parting remarks is thanks for taking the time to listen to us. Just the other thing that I didn't cover when I was talking about FDM regarding the training is that it is all professionally taught. So this is not, we do not teach via modules. We don't teach via the internet, via video, et cetera. We teach a professional instructor is in front of you, even virtually the entire day. When we get out of a no COVID world, we will be back to brick and mortar. But I just wanted everybody to know that. And I will put my email in the chat room again, just so there's you have it right at the bottom. Thanks.
Great, thanks, John. Paige, I'll turn it over to you.
Great, thanks. I'll try to make this quick. I know we just have a minute, but I just want to thank everybody so much for their time. I'm really excited to share these opportunities with you all, and I'll put the links to these specific programs in the chat, but you can go to nationalapprenticeship.org, and that'll link you to all of our apprenticeship opportunities there. But I would say, just as you're looking for programs, make sure you seek those that are going to be bespoke to you. Don't feel like you've got to fit a very specific mold. There are a lot of opportunities that you can seek out, whether AIA or PCAP is one, or Amazon Web Services, or many other opportunities out there. But there are a ton of great places for you to go. You just kind of need to know your resources. So I'm glad that everyone's coming to these events every Transition Tuesday and understanding what's out there for them. So if you'd like to reach out, please feel free to do so. I am available. So thank you very much.
Great, thank you. All right, Amazon team, Selena first, and then we'll go to Theda.
Thank you everyone for your time today. We're very excited to share our opportunities with our mill spouses and veterans. If you're interested in apprenticeships, skill bridge, direct hire, or hiring our heroes, we're so anxious and excited to talk to you. Please reach out via LinkedIn or my email, and you can feel free to reach out to me at any time. Thank you.
She's so hard to follow. Oh my goodness. I'm going to go ahead and put in the chat the weekly Amazon Military Affairs webinars that we do. I know in this specific, when you're job seeking, it's very hard to kind of figure out where you want to go, where you belong, where you fit in. And so being able to come to these Transition Tuesdays is fantastic. To Paige's point, if you have further questions, feel free to link in with me or join our weekly webinars. It's a great opportunity for you to kind of figure that out in Amazon, as we have 40,000 jobs open, so it can be very daunting. And if there's anything that I can do to help, please, 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 please reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I'd be happy to set some time with you.
Great, thanks, ladies. All right, over to you, Richard.
Awesome. Again, I wanted to thank everyone, for your time today. I really do appreciate it. A couple things I just wanted to note real quick. We are also SkillBridge approved. So if there's anyone looking for that program, again, we'd love to work with spouses in, those areas that I had mentioned earlier. So again, thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to working with you.
Great, and big round of applause for all of our panel members. Just really appreciate your time and being extremely thorough in everything that you've shared and provided. And for all of our participants who joined us today, please reach out and connect with them. This is a wealth of knowledge represented today, and I know that they are all committed to helping you and getting you positioned into your next career, hopefully in the IT and cyber industry. All right, so one last plug for our virtual career community. This session was recorded, as I mentioned at the beginning. You'll be able to go to our main webpage, hiringourheroes.org, to navigate to where all of the recorded sessions can be viewed. Look forward to having you join us. We have programming throughout the week and in the weeks to come. We've got a lot of virtual career fairs coming up as well. So let's get everybody hired. That's our main goal, is getting heroes hired. So thanks to everyone. Be well, and hope to see you again soon.